honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachapadash. Double honors to the apostles and others, great millstone who rule well and who taught us the truth. And salutations to all the Archeon, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity with charity. We're the brothers from the great millstone camp in Chicago, and Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson.
You know what? I got something for you brothers, man. I'm going to go to the book of Matthew 33 and 3. And it reads, and this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of the Most High, blessed the children before his death. And he said, Yahweh came from...
Yahushua?
Yahushua.
That's right.
Hey, well, hold on. Do it one more time for the brother. What?
God's real name, Yahweh. And the name of his son, who the world ignorantly calls Christ,
Yahushua!
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 Hispanics, so-called Hispanic, so-called Latino, so-called black man, so-called Native American, so-called Seminole Indians. That's who the Holy Bible is for. You white people is the devil. We out here. Let's get it. Yahushua, baby.
Yahushua, baby. That's right. That's why the Lord kick it off, man.
Yeah, shit.
Hey, what you need, brother? What you need?
Man, I was thinking, the Lord show remember ourselves from the land of our captivity.
Yes.
Because our people are waking up, man, and we didn't expect that. We literally just, we just started, you know.
I got it right here.
And this was an Ephraimite. I think it was an Ephraimite just rolls up.
Yeah, it was northern kingdom.
You know?
I think
Definitely northern kingdom.
Yeah, like Issachar, I think. But
You know?
this is Baruch chapter 2, verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves.
That's right.
And you just witnessed that right now. For that man, the brother just pull up and know that we're talking about the Lord, the Heavenly Father, and His Son, which is you ignorantly called God in Jesus Christ, which is not His name. You're ignorantly worshiping this false idol underneath your colonial oppression. Hey, who brought this to you? Esau Edom. Who gave you this master? Esau Edom. Just like in all the other captivities you were in, man. Their gods became your gods, man. Now we're in the times of fucking what? Remembering ourselves, man. Fuck these goddamn devils. They going down. And you should be pumping the name of the Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, man.
That's right.
Read that again, brother.
God, Baruch 2, verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people.
Yeah, 2/3, fuck you and die slow. We don't want a fast death for you. We don't want a fast death for your children. Die slow. Because you want to, hey, death by pain. You want to continue in your stiff neck? Fuck it. Stay in your ways, man. What the Lord said, man, hey, we worried about the ones who are going to be saved, not the ones who are going to be destroyed, man. Keep reading, brother.
But in the land of their captivities.
But where?
In the land of their captivities.
Hey, brother, where we at right now?
Egypt 2.0, Babylon the Great.
In the land of our captivities, man.
Right, yeah.
How you doing, sir? Everything okay?
Yeah.
Good. Go ahead, brother. You too.
But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am the Lord their God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord. And that was beautiful. Here it is, you got a Mexican coming up, recognizing Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, recognizing that he's a Hebrew Israelite, and not some byword that the so-called white man put on us.
Beautiful, man.
Hey, these cocksucking crackers, man, they think it's a joke. You Edomites, it's a joke to you. When them chains is on your wrist and on your fucking ankles, it ain't gonna be no goddamn joke. When America's on fire, you ain't gonna be no goddamn joke. But hey, playtime is over, man. Wait, what you thought God's people was gonna be in slavery forever? What you thought God's people gonna be in captivity forever?
I gotta appreciate
Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 50. Because they actually did think that the Most High was going to be with them forever. This is Psalms 50. I'm gonna start at 19. This is Psalms 50 and 19. And it reads, Thou givest thy mouth to evil, thy tongue framest deceit. All right, and that's what these Edomites do. They've been pushing for so long. These lies. Where's the end, man? Where's our boy?
Where that pussy at?
This one. This guy.
We gotta expose the pussy. Expose the pussy. This white Jesus is the pussy. Go ahead, brother.
Exactly. They've been pushing this for the longest. All right, and they put our people in under hypnosis, man. All right, they're under a deep spell right now. You know, and I'm gonna keep reading. It's verse 20. It says, "Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son," which that's what they do. Okay, and they call us bywords, as the brother was talking about. Okay, and they say we're this, we're that. You know, we're thugs. Hey, what else do they call us?
Oh, they're bums.
They're bums.
Like we ain't got no job.
Lazy.
Lazy.
That's the best one.
Oh,
Lazy.
yeah.
They give you Mexican, you're Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
Oh,
you're a
yeah.
nigga.
I'm a nigger.
Every 4 or 5 years they give you a new name.
You was a colored.
I'm African American this year.
Oh, yeah. You was an Afro-American at one time.
I was. Yep. You were an Indian at one point.
Oh, yeah. You was an Indian.
Savage.
Yeah, a savage.
Savage. A redskin.
A redskin.
A Blackfoot.
Blackfoot too.
Different. These bywords they give you, man.
Nope. Verse 20, thou sittest and speakest against, oh no, I read that. Verse 21, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such a one as thyself. Hey, so for the longest, these Edomites really believed that the Most High was with them, which actually he was to a degree, but they thought this was going to continue forever. But now we're in that time period where, as the brother read in that Baruch, we're remembering ourselves. And this is what the Lord said here. But I will reprove thee, and how is he doing that? Through his prophets, and set them in order before thy eyes. All right, and that's what the Lord's doing. He's setting the elect in order, right before their eyes. And look, you said a lot of them are laughing, but a lot of them are laughing because they're actually really scared, brother. And a lot of these Edomites, man, they feel very uncomfortable, all right? You know, with what we're doing, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This should make them feel uncomfortable. They shouldn't put a smile on their face, man. All right?
Right.
Because the nation is what? Getting rebuilt right now. The house of David, all right, is getting put back together.
Right,
All right.
This is Revelation chapter 11, right to the point, verse 11. And after 3 days and a half,
Yes, sir.
the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them.
That,
And
that 3.5 days is roughly about a 350 year time period.
Yep.
Okay? And that's when we were asleep. That's when the Lord just completely turned his back on us. We didn't know the name of the Lord. All right? We didn't know who we were. And we were a hardcore bondage just through. All right? But then what did the Lord do? He put that spirit back in us. Okay? The breath of life, as the scriptures talk about. And this is what's giving us life. This is quickening us. And we're not those dry bones anymore. And that's what's scaring the hell out of Esau. We're not them damn dead corpses anymore, them zombies.
Yes, sir. Yes, master.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know?
master.
Jesus!
Jesus
Get
Christ.
out of that, man.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
I love you,
I
man.
love you, Lord. Praise God.
I got the celebrity, man.
Can I bring one of them back to
Yeah,
you?
go ahead.
Isaiah 57 and 15. For thus saith the high of the lofty one and the inhabitant eternal, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place, with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble and to revive the heart of the contrite ones, man. And hey, man, we need revival. Because guess what? And through this captivity, we died as a nation, man. Why do you think our people killing each other? They don't got no animosity towards the other nations. They're not trying to rob the other nations, even though they know this man has no riches, more riches than that nigga you're robbing in your neighborhood. He got more money than that Mexican you're robbing in your neighborhood. But who is he focused on? He's focused on his own people. Because we're under the curses, man. His eyes shall be what? Evil towards his brother, man. And guess what? That shit, it's on an all-time high of the murder rate of black on black crime.
Yeah, they just said that in the report. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah, come.
No, in Chicago.
Murder season.
What did it say?
Oh, yeah,
They said that-
they're going back to that 90s number.
Oh, yeah.
They're going back to our old
Homicide.
And they said it's and that's how you know the curses are on us, because it said blacks and Latinos are the ones who are dying the most. And then it's in particular the males, from between like the ages of like 13 and like 21, somewhere around that range.
And Emerson was between what was Emerson? Cox was 15
14, 15.
to 18.
Yeah, he
But,
shot
50 shots.
Motherfucker shot up a car with a full bunch of pigs.
50 shots, man.
Yeah.
Right next to Northwestern's right a block
Oh,
away.
so guess what? You know what's funny? The same night, I was about to go get some gas. And
That
some
same
told me,
thing.
yeah.
Don't go there.
Man, some told me to go get some gas, and that's what
Somewhere else.
closest went to the job.
Right.
But some said don't go to that gas station. And then I wake up watching the news,
Yeah.
man. I'm like, oh shit, thank God I didn't go to that motherfucker. Hell yeah. Call hello, y'all about shit outside.
Two bodies.
Hell yeah.
Caught two bodies. Yesterday even caught the cat.
Oh, yeah.
And this
My
is
man,
Will that
Will.
area. This is cameras everywhere. They ain't caught this guy, man. 50 shots, man.
They don't care.
No.
They could have caught him.
Oh, yeah.
They just don't care. Because Esau lets a lot of stuff slide,
Oh
man.
yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. And now that he's a part of a lot of this shit, man.
Yup.
9 times 10, these guns will go back. They are gonna go back.
They do go back, because I never seen a so-called black or Hispanic have a damn gun facility, man, right? A factory making guns. Jake don't even have, let alone a factory, Jake don't even have land to get the supplies to make the stuff.
Well, on the gun it says Smith and Wesson.
Yep.
In the 80s,
Caucasian names.
in the 80s, we had something called Intertech.
Wins.
Intertech used to make your water guns back in the day. Little did we know, Intertech in Miami was also a gun facility that was making these actual water guns. They're actually making real guns, man. So you know what I'm saying? Just to let you know, this devil, you know, he plays both sides, man. Yeah, we thought this was water guns, but no, he's actually making the Tech 9s were made down in Miami, Florida. These are American-made guns. Your Uzi is made in Israel. There's another Edomite-made gun. You know what I'm saying? This devil makes these guns and manufactures these things. We can't come up with these things, man.
And that's how you know who the Edomites are.
Time, man.
That's their blessing.
Bless.
Yeah, Genesis 27. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I got
Time.
But shit, Rapai, can you finish that?
Revelation?
Whatever you.
Yeah, Revelation
Talk
11,
about.
11, and after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. These other nations, man. Right here, they see the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai posted up, man. What does that mean? That their kingdom is coming to an end, man.
That's right.
That means that they're going down, right? The Lord has chains set up for you, you Eves, man, you Idumeans.
Yeah, and that's why they're about to come down with that great wrath.
Yeah.
And you really listen to these speeches that you know this king is saying to these Babylonians. Are you really listening to his words? He's telling you, look, you better get with the program. Better get with the program because hey, it's about to get ugly out here. He ain't saying it like that, but if you really read between the lines, he's telling you, hey, it's about to get serious.
He damn near did say it that way because he told somebody said, hey man, I don't want to take this and that. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we know.
He was like, hey man, what you gonna do? We got the Navy, we got the Army, we'll come down with jets, planes, this and that, man. So hey man,
Yep.
he speaks, but he speaks in
That fork tongue.
the word tongue.
Smooth words.
Sneak one in right quick.
Hey, he said a couple, maybe it was like a month or two back. I can't remember exactly when he said it. Hey, he basically that King Biden man almost broke character, man. And he was getting mad as hell. And he said, I'm
Getting
basically.
frustrated.
He said basically, I'm losing patience.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, hey, he damn near lost character. But then he's got. And they probably talked to him.
I think they sent a shot through his RFID chip. Get back
Calm
up.
down,
Yeah,
Biden.
calm
Get
down.
back in character, Biden.
You know?
Right.
Hey,
Joey.
we gave you too much adrenochrome. Calm down, bud. You know? Hey, but now seriously though, hey, they started, he started tweaking, man. Alright? He started tweaking, but then, hey, they probably told him in the back, like, hey, calm down. Hey, you gotta be cool, calm, and collected, man. You can't be talking like that.
Maybe acting like that.
You know? Because they got to present themselves as a pious, you know what I'm saying, nation, a loving nation, a God-fearing nation, you know? All right? They got to put on this front, man. Because Esau's an oh, what's the all right? All right. Should you brothers have a precept
So
slide?
I had one right quick.
Yeah, he wanted to sleep with it.
You get Revelation 12 and 12
I
too.
already got that
Oh
on there.
shit.
On that. This is Psalms 138 and 7. Though I walk in the midst of trouble,
Mm.
thou wilt revive me. Thou shalt stretch forth thine
Hey,
hand.
Salaki, aren't we in some trouble right now?
Oh,
Are we
absolutely.
in some deep shit, so to speak?
Yes, sir.
Alright? And what did the Lord say? He's going to what? Revive us.
That's right.
Hey, the Lord, hey, He woken us up in our worst estate, man. And that's really true. The Lord's going to kill these people, man. Hey, but that shows you the power of the Lord. That right there is a miracle, man. That alone should show you that the Lord is real.
Can these dry bones live?
Woo!
Damn.
Damn, brother.
Shit.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I can do all things through Yahushua that strengtheneth me, man.
That's right.
You know? Philippians 4:13, I believe. But yeah, bring that on again, Bubba.
Not a problem. Psalms 138 and 7. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, thou wilt revive me. Thou shalt stretch forth thy hand against the wrath of mine enemies, and thy right hand shall save me, man. Yeah, we're looking for deliverance. We're looking for salvation. You other people, you're looking for America to be great again. The Lord is against America, man. The Lord's not with Babylon the Great. Why you think these people walking around so depressed, man? Opioid addiction, drug addiction, suicide, unemployment, homelessness. It's only getting worse and worse, man.
Marcus Garner.
And you zombie-ass people, you're comfortable in a shithole, man. You talk about Haiti, Mexico, and all these other countries, man. Pretty soon you will not be comfortable in America, man.
That's right.
America about to go through a famine, man. America about to go through a drought. You see what's happening in California? The Lord done burned up all your crops for the certain food you look for, man. How long you think Mexico and South America will feed you people, man? Made in China, made in Taiwan, made nowhere, made in famine.
I'm glad on what you're saying.
Made in famine.
That on what you're saying. Your enemies right now are making commercials talking about Feed America. China's making commercials about talking about Feed America.
Germany, too.
Germany's making commercials about Feed America.
Your ally.
Well, right
Yeah.
now, it was because right now, the NATO, America had turned their back on Germany and France. Remember with the
Oh, of course.
with the weapon sales
Yep.
that Joey made 2 months ago.
Yep.
So they're turning their back on a lot of
Of course.
these NATO countries.
And that's prophecy, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, the beast, all right, shall hate the whore, man.
Come
Hey, we're seeing it, man.
on.
Hey, the Lord is fulfilling His will, man, right before our eyes.
That's right.
You know?
Yes, Lord.
That was it on that.
Should you want it? Yeah.
Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe, which means destruction, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Exactly. So Esau's gonna come down with that wrath, and we're seeing it, man. Right now, it's all talk, okay? But you're starting to see what more draconian measures being put into place right before your eyes, and it's only gonna get worse, man. Okay? And I believe, I'm speaking as man. After this holiday season, things are gonna rapidly change again. Yep. Hey, the elder.
And we just spoke about Jody, man, and how he was upset, and how he's getting ready to come down with harsh and harsh laws. And then you people know he's not playing, man.
Hey, yep. Hey,
So
look,
all you people in this sleep, believing this place is gonna continue, believing that, I'll be able to skip this and that, you know what I'm saying, without taking this and that. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mandatory.
Yeah.
Mandatory.
DeSantis just basically is ordering himself his own private army. All right, the governor of Florida is basically. Hey, but you know what though? Other states are going to
Oh, yeah,
follow
Texas
suit.
gonna be behind him.
Follow suit.
A lot of southern states gonna be
Because
behind him.
you have the states are with him. So that division is very, very real.
Oh, yeah. Come.
All right. Yeah, he just. I read the article earlier today, but he, you know, he's taken guardsmen, and he's basically creating his own. He's getting funding to create his own private military militia.
Can I add on real fast?
Absolutely.
I just did a video this week. The government is saying that for the National Guard, if you do not take that Pokemon, that you will be dropped down to a state militia now. That means they're dropping your pay, and they said whenever you National Guard, you know how they have the weekend warriors, they call them?
Yeah.
You got to go report to your base.
Yeah.
They said when you report to your base and you do your training, you will not get paid for that. A lot of people rely on that paycheck. That little funky ass month paycheck that they get from the military, they rely on that.
Yeah, because that's what's closing the gap. Because everybody's barely making it at this point, right?
So he said-
that's filling in that gap, that little check. All right, because you go every month, and then you go every month, and then once a year you go
Yeah.
for 2 weeks or a whole
You know how
month
to
or
go.
whatever it is. Yeah, they look forward to that money, man.
Con.
That's why they do it. You know, they stay in. You know, don't think okay, well, that's some guys, who really are serving their country and love their country. But the majority of these people do it for the benefits and for their families.
Oh yeah.
They're not just doing it,
The love of the soldiers, that was in the 50s. That was the spirit that we always talk about. That old good American spirit is gone. The happy day spirit is gone.
Yeah, man.
Well, I love to fight for my country. That spirit is gone. If you talk to an average soldier, the reason he does is for a paycheck.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, the recruiting officers was over there. They was looking at us like, "Hey, you ain't gonna be nothing but little gangsters and drug dealers. You might as well come and join the military, man." That's exactly how they came to us, man. I said, "Look here, bitch, I got aspirations in this place, man." That's how I believe. I thought I was gonna be a good farm-raising American citizen, so I had aspirations in this place. But it's all the Lord's
We
will.
all do it till we wake up to the truth.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man.
Can I sleep on that for you?
Absolutely.
Well, this is Ecclesiastes 26 and 28. There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty. Yeah, join this American military, man. You might end up homeless, man.
Hey,
Will
I
in the
just was talking to a veteran who just got out the Army a year ago. 2 days ago, we did a Ephraimite brother. We just had that conversation
Damn.
about how the majority of the people, the homeless people in America, the majority of them are ex-military. All right, from the Vietnam era to the Gulf War
Iraq.
era, a lot of those guys are homeless, man. And he was saying that despite what they're telling you, that what he was saying that the morale in the military is very low.
Right.
The soldiers are very angry because the soldiers are part of this what the elites are calling this woke culture, and they're waking up to the fact that they're not fighting for their country, but they're fighting for big pharma and big and Fortune 500 company interests, and not for the interests of their people, of the country and their people, man. And they're angry. A lot of them are angry, man.
Lied to.
They've been lied to. It's like people. It's like, look, dude, and you'll have some of them guys who will speak up. And they tell you, hey, man, I was right? Because think about it, man. Afghanistan holds no strategic value. There's no reason to be there. The only reason was to be there was to control those pocket fields. And look at all the money that was made with fentanyl over the last 20 years since America's been there. Duh. It's not that difficult to figure out, man. All right?
Netflix has a movie coming out very soon.
Oh, they gonna get on
It's called Dope Sick, right?
Yeah, they gonna
get
get
I
on it.
plan on. It's already out.
Yep.
I don't think it's out yet.
Yeah,
Okay, it's coming.
I plan on watching that.
Everything that you just spoke of about how America, they were over there protecting those poppy fields. Well, you can watch American Gangster. What did American Gangster tell you?
They were shipping dead bodies.
Not only that, in one part of the movie, when they interviewed the Viet Cong general, he's right there decked out in all white. He said, "Man, I got the Chinese army coming in on this end, and I got the Americans coming on this end. And what do they all want? Right here, these poppy fields, this heroin. That's what they want." Letting you know that these troops, a lot of your wars for these last few years, the last 20,
Going
30
back
years,
to Vietnam.
have been over nothing but dope, man. Over drugs, man.
Okay. I got a precept.
Natural
This is
resources.
natural resources.
This is Micah chapter
And
2.
what we're doing, by you even speaking about it, we're actually committing treason. Really, look, go ahead and read that scripture, brother.
Okay.
Because I was watching a video today, the brother in Orlando went in, he went hard, brother. And I started jotting down things he was saying. Right here is I have 10 lists, 10 things that you cannot say and do. According, 501c3 charter, the rules and regulations. I'm gonna go through. So it goes to show you that any 501c3 charter organization is basically a part of the government because you are forbidden to speak about truth in certain individuals. And I'm gonna read them, and we're gonna bring the scriptures out. Go ahead, brother.
This is in Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Right, and that's basically that sums up American history. That really sums up American history. You'll have some people that are they're called what they call is CRT, critical race theory. No. It's just like the young lady on the Young Church said. No, that's just American history. That's what you did. You kicked in doors, raped, robbed, murdered, stole, and took shit, and then made it your own. And then you set up institutions of learning, hospitals, businesses, and all that based upon those actions. Right? Point blank period.
This is the devil. You build the hospitals and then the schools afterward.
Yeah,
That's the devil.
exactly.
He's trying to get some sympathy afterwards after you done conquered you.
Yeah, after you
killed
rape, rob, and kill me, now you're gonna name a building.
Right. A building to help people. A hospital.
You know? You know, it's like the true story of Pocahontas. You know, we talked about that not that long ago, and a brother looked it up. We were here.
Last week.
Yeah, and a brother looked it up and saw how many millions were made off of it. You know, but that was a story of rape, robbery, and murder. That was that scripture. That was Micah 2.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Micah 2 right there, man. Because there was no romantic relationship between Pocahontas and John Smith. She just said, look at him, was wooed by his blonde hair and his blue eyes. She was freaked out by it. Like, what's wrong with you? Why you look like that? All right?
It's probably like in that situation in the was it Revenant? Is that the one with Leonardo DiCaprio?
That's it.
Where they had that Gadite like woman that was
Yeah,
with
they had
them?
her tied to the tree.
And they were just gangbanging her.
Right. Yeah, they just had her tied to the tree and, you know, and then they would just come in. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, then they have her tied to the tree this way.
Yeah.
So they can just come behind and
Oh,
ride
yeah.
her when they feel like it and then just walk away.
Yep.
So they had her tied to the tree facing away, so they can just come, raise her garment up and just hump her and just keep it moving. She couldn't even fight him. All right, or resist. Right. So and that's basically this man with that mentality and that was how they did things. As a matter of fact, a lot of these statues that are around America, these men did those things, participated in those things, and allowed their soldiers to do it. All right, and that's just the facts, man. But we gotta go into this list, man. All right, and here are this is 20 things that you cannot speak about. All right, and that's more than this. These are just the ones that I wrote down. All right. Number one that you cannot do if you're a 501c3 charter church with the Bible in your hand. All right. Number one is you cannot expose conspiracies. So what that's telling you is that conspiracies are real. They're telling on themselves with these measures. So anytime you go to you start reading about Psalms 83, that was a big conspiracy, a prophecy that actually came true. If somebody want to grab it real quick.
Can I get the etymology in the meantime?
Go ahead, brother.
Online etymology dictionary: conspiracy, a plotting of evil, unlawful design. So you can't even go into that, man. I don't understand.
There you go. So if I'm a pastor at a church, and now it makes sense why in the past a lot of these church people would be so bewildered by us when we would speak using the Bible. All right. So what this means that even their learned men, they're not even allowed to learn the truth. They're teaching them lies out the gate. So or either that or you just really don't care about the Lord, because if you're really seeking the Lord and then you go to sit before a table and a man comes, brings down the Bible, reads you something in the Bible, and then turns around and tells you, you cannot teach that. You cannot speak about that. It's like, well, wait a minute, didn't the Lord say that? And you telling me I can't speak about it, I can't, then that's when it's time to get up and head for the door, man.
That's right.
All right, but no, they stayed. So what that's letting you know is that they were there for filthy lucre's sake. And that 1 Timothy, they were teaching for gain. All right. Somebody want to grab that song? Yeah, just the crafty counsel part. You don't have to, you know.
This Psalms 83 and 1. It says song of song of I started 3. Alright. This verse 2. But lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they have hate thee. They that hate thee. So like they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
501c3 is crafty counsel.
That's a crafty counsel, right?
And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
501c3.
So there you go, man. So there was conspiracy to cut off, and there's some more, so that the name Israel.
So it says, from being in a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
There you go, man. So according to the 501c3 charter, a church pastor, he can't speak about that. He can't go into that. So basically, the 501c3 charter has ensured that the churches still teach a slave doctrine.
Oh yeah.
Basically. So you can't tell the truth. You can't reveal secrets. You can't talk about who the nations are, that the lifting of the veil and that whole. You can't do that, right? Number 2, criticize the New World Order. So what is that telling you? What does it say on the back of the dollar bill? So what they're telling you is that there really is a New World Order, right? The 501c3 Novus Ordo Seclorum, right?
Yeah, where is this? Right there.
Yeah, Novus Ordo Seclorum. That literally tells you what's that's telling you. That's saying the New World Order. So 501c3 charter says you cannot criticize the New World Order. So basically, the 501c3 charter itself is admitting that there is a New World Order. All right. It says say anything negative about any politician. So if a politician is not in sync with what the Bible says, all right, you can't speak about it. Okay. Next one, number 4. You can't criticize government agencies of bureaus such as the IRS, the FBI, CIA, ATF, EPA, OSHA, etc.
Wow.
So if they're violating, as a matter of fact, the FBI was not even supposed to be. That was supposed to be a temporary thing that they made stay. And what's his name? Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover set that up, and that was supposed to be just for the time being. It wasn't even supposed to be a
Forever.
Yeah. All right. And it says criticize any institution of government, such as the White House, Congress, Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve is not a part of the government.
That's right.
But it's written in here, though. Right? That lets you know how much how much power the small hatters have.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
You just said something about OSHA. You work in cleaning up shit. OSHA is who we have to answer to. They give you a federal guideline. You see how powerful now they're allowing the power of OSHA now? OSHA now also is regulating us getting these Pokemon stuff. They're ahead of that stuff.
Yeah.
So they've stepped up their
Everything with safety when it comes to construction, carpentry,
that was OSHA.
construction. If you handle operate heavy equipment, yeah.
You have to go behind them.
The helmets have to be OSHA approved, all that. Yeah.
Safety glasses,
Wow.
cutting gloves.
Everything I know.
Yeah.
All I know.
It says, next one is you cannot criticize any of proposed bills that would take away the rights of the people. Once again, the church that's under 501c3 charter, you cannot criticize any proposed bills that will take away the rights of the people. So if you start screaming, well, there's a law of God and the law of the land is a constitution, because they're going to get rid of the Constitution.
Oh, yeah.
The Constitution is in the way of this whole NWO thing. It's in the way because that's the main thing that people are still using to wage their fight against this, because if you actually use the Constitution, they are in violation of civil rights.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
All right, and anything that violates the civil rights, including some of the organizations that are used every day, like the Title 4D thing. You know, they violate civil rights in the way that they instituted because they don't follow their own guidelines. Right?
With the Constitution, the right to bear arms, the right to form a militia, the right to congregate. You keep going all day. It's against the moral order, man.
Yeah. It says, say any discouraging remarks about any faith groups or religion. So we can't point out the fallacies of the Catholic Church, especially. That's actually written in here.
No wonder the other churches don't talk about each other.
That's why. That's why they don't go in.
Never.
Now we know why
Never.
Vocab Malone was educated and built up to directly come at us, because the other churches can't do it. Then not only that, that panel of idiots to let you know, everybody saw the video that all those pastors get together trying to bring young men back to Christ. He said that we can't counter what they're saying, but they're wrong. Well, you can't counter it because we're right. You can't counter it because you're not built. Even if you were built up in the scriptures, if you actually were built up in the scriptures, you will realize that there is no countering us, and that damn, I need to join them. They're right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, if you really was for the Lord, okay. Next one it says, expose or criticize New Age movements.
Support this whole satanic movement.
Yes.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Before, hey, America used to be a Christian society. Out of nowhere, Satan put over transgender.
The alphabet like that stuff.
Colorful.
You know, support a law-abiding citizen or militias. So, support law-abiding citizens or militias. All right. So the 501c3 charter cannot support law. You can't support a law-abiding citizen. Wait, hold on. Exactly. This is their list. You cannot support a law-abiding citizen. So they know that organizations within the government are operating outside of the law. And so they're really admitting their guilt to all these things by creating this list. All right, it says support or encourage the Second Amendment, or to tell people to keep and bear arms. Right? So they don't want that at all, man. The second one now. Like I said, I only wrote down 20 of them. It was like 24, 25.
And you still think you're free?
Yeah, you still think you're free, right? Just reading of this list will make you realize, damn, I've been going to church all my life. I mean, you're not free. You're not free. Discourage young women from aborting or support pro-life movement. The church cannot discourage a young woman from abortion, nor can it support pro-life movement. You know, I hope that we don't get clipped for this. All right? You cannot teach that abortion is murder. All right? Because you know, that baby is a whole person. All right? You know, and I remember once seeing a picture of a woman that was pregnant, and it said, your body, baby's body, and it had two arrows. One pointing to her, and then the baby, right? Exactly. So by saying your body, your choice, you're not giving that child, you're taking away that child's choice. All right, but you can't teach about that. All right. Next one was identify homosexuality as a sin or an abomination. So if you're a 501c3 charter church, which is all these churches, the one that you go to on the weekends, you cannot teach that. All right.
You
Number
can't
6.
speak against homosexuality, Elder?
Yeah, that's what it says. Identify.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
You cannot identify homosexuality as a sin
Oh.
or an abomination. Next one is appeal to the people's emotions by exploring a fire and brimstone doctrine. I'm like, man,
What? That's in that too? What?
yes,
He's so old, boy.
yes.
He knows it's coming. He knows it's coming.
right?
He got the ass.
Discuss or identify threats to Christianity, which is 501c3 charter. All right. Criticize well-known public figures, people the IRS deems important, such as the super rich elite international bankers or the Hollywood movie industry, etc. All right. So if Esau is not ousting them, you can't. If Fox doesn't say they're a bad guy, you can't say they're a bad guy.
You can't
Right.
go against the beast system, basically.
No, that is exactly.
You are condemned wrong.
Okay. It gets juicy toward the end here. It says you can't teach in the church the elite plots against humanity. All right. So 19. This gets heavy. You cannot criticize the Pope or the Vatican with the truth found in the Bible.
Wow. Damn.
So what's this telling you is that the Catholic Church teaches it's against the Bible. That's why they have their own Bible, and they never really teach from the Bible. They teach from little pamphlets and stuff. I'm gonna read it again. So I need someone to go and find this and we'll print this out, the actual printout from them. All right. It says, I'll read that one again. You cannot criticize the Pope or the Vatican with the truth found in the Bible, in the Holy Bible. So what that means is everybody that goes to a Catholic church, stop going now. All right, go ahead.
I got two precepts. This is Galatians chapter 4, verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
There it is, man. Because I tell you the truth. Now we know why our videos get deleted when we talk about pseudoscience.
Yes, sir.
And match that scripture up with things that are going on today. Now we know. All right. It says you cannot criticize the United Nations, CFR, that's the County on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, Masonic Lodges, Skull and Bones, or the ACLs. There it is. Everyone knows, the ACL is that's the Jewish organization
Down south.
the Anti-Defamation League or something.
So they were the ones that were
Something like that.
protecting the pains.
I got another precept.
That was the ADL. The ACL is along the same line.
Okay.
But you see, so what they've done is they put in place a system that demonize you if you speak the truth. Now we understand why Snowden was turned into a criminal, because he revealed military crimes, and that falls in that line. He revealed the names and people who they deem important, that are high level people. So they can't, basically they're too big to fail. Right? What was the other's name? Julian Assange. All these guys, what was the dude? The dude, chick, thing, Kelsey Manning, whatever his name used to be, the Manning dude, Manning thing.
Yeah.
All right? All he did was, well, I guess I'm offending him if I call him he now. All it did was point out crimes against humanity. But yet, he became the criminal for doing so. All right? Go
I got
ahead.
another one for you. This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 2. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. All right, and the truth is being evil spoken of. Anytime you bring out truth, facts, okay, and they basically, do a whole smear campaign against you. You know, that's why you have this guy, Vocab. Hey, he's been demonizing us for what, like 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years he's been demonizing us.
guy's got
His
sick
whole
obsession.
ministry is based solely on us. You got all these crimes going on. Epstein, what's her name? Gazelle, Maxwell, and all these scandals in the Catholic Church and all these other churches. But yet, all he does is focuses on us.
You got the president's son with dope, his laptop, all sorts of medical.
Hey, they just came out saying that I think it was the CIA, like a chunk of the people that were working there were caught with some type of doing like some type of pedophile, activity.
No, it's the pentagram. I mean, that's not the pentagram.
Pentagon.
The pentagram. That is it. At the Pentagon, it is a pentagram. They found most of the Pentagon members. The Pentagon people who worked at the Pentagon. They found child porn on all these Pentagon. Well, it is a pentagram on the Pentagon computers, man. And that story kind of just went away, got swept under the rug. You know, you didn't hear a lot about that.
Yeah, you can't talk about this. You read on the list. You can't talk about this situation.
And this same group will go out looking for child molesters,
Oh, yeah.
pedophiles.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll paint us as an enemy.
Exactly.
They love to do that, man.
Oh yeah. Somebody grab Isaiah 8.
I got it.
Bring it up,
It's
bro.
Isaiah 8:20. To the love and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, that's because there is no light in them.
So you know what? It really now you understand why we got to stand up as bold as lions to speak the truth that's in the Bible because no one else will.
That's right.
All right. And now after reading through the 501c3 charter rules and regulations, the Bible is a threat to them.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if they understood, if they would have known and could have foreseen the future and saw what we're doing now, they probably would have burned and destroyed all the Bibles. Especially if they actually said America. You know, if it actually said America, or the United States, or anything that could, you know, the land of the free, home of the brave, anything like that, you know, they would have outlawed the Bibles, man. But at this point, they do, because there was a group out of California that wants to outlaw the Bible, man. All right?
He did in the Maccabees.
Come.
And this is our first Maccabees because Esau already did this in the past, but we know that the Yahweh Shem Shai wanted to make sure that this book was, you know, preserved for, us in this time period. But hey, I'll say this: Esau, when he comes down with that wrath, anybody found with this, they're going to be put in, into jail, and they're going to try to burn all these books up, in that day. And this is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse. I'm gonna start at 55. And burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. And whosoever was found with any, the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death.
And according to this society, the Bible is supposed to be a good thing. So why would they burn the Bible? Why? Because the truth in the Bible is only for the children of Israel. It's not for all nations on the earth, man.
And it condemns the Job 9 and 24.
Oh
Yeah.
Those nine, the small headers and the Job 9 and their leaders, the Job 9 and 24, and their leaders, the small headers.
Sideburns.
Right,
Sideburns.
right. It's small headers with sideburns, exactly.
The worst dancing style you ever seen in your life.
Right. You know, right. That might offend the Lord, so he might destroy you
Just off your dance.
because you suck so bad.
Mark,
Like, man, how dare you do this shit before me? Send a lightning bolt on your ass.
This Luke chapter 12 and verse 2. It says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed."
Yeah, because you gotta realize Edom is only good in wickedness. He's only good in wickedness. He's not good in righteousness. He wasn't set up to be righteous. The children of Israel were set up to be righteous, man. And what happened? We broke the rules of the Lord, and what happened? We became a captive. We became a slave in this society, man. What are we looking for right now? Redemption. Read that again, brother.
This Luke chapter 12 and verse 2. "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed."
Yeah, Esau's revealed. At one time, not one brother here knew about Esau.
No.
We knew white people, we knew Caucasians, but did we know about Esau, Idumea? Did we know about their history? Go ahead, brother.
The wicked.
The wicked. We
Yeah,
didn't
right.
know nothing about them.
Yeah, we thought wicked was just bad people.
Bad people.
Yeah.
That was a
Bad
difference.
guys.
The good people, you had bad people. It didn't matter the color,
Yeah.
you know. But you know what though? Even that was suspect because if you started looking at history, it was like, wait a minute, but these pivotal points in history, when millions of people were dying, it was typically these people were always responsible for it. You know?
Yeah, I had a huge conflict.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, because my mom and all that stuff, she looks like an Edomite. I was like, man, there's like these people first, and I was like, well, it can't be these Europeans. It's got to be these ones from the West.
Right.
Because it was always like, it would be England, France, like, you know, the
Right.
Spanish always doing stuff. So I was like, hey, there's something wrong with these ones, not these ones over here on the east part of Europe. I was like,
You
I
trying to figure it out.
Yeah, man, I was always trying to figure out the truth, man. Like, even in high school, man. That shit was fucking with my conscience.
It was a constant conflict.
Yeah.
Out this Luke chapter 12, verse 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Nay, the wickedness of ye is coming out in the latter days, because the Lord is getting ready to judge this thing, you know. And the scripture said that the Lord is going to make Esau bare. And that's what's happening.
Get that Isaiah 25:7, and then Luke 8:17 as well.
This is Isaiah chapter 25. You said 25, verse 7.
Yeah.
This Isaiah chapter 25, verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
Right, so that covering cast has been his lies, you know, his spells. Changing of names, changing of landmarks, changing the meaning of words, giving ethnicities and different heritages, whole different identities, you know, renaming a group of people to fit your agenda.
Elder, Egypt went from Mizraim to Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right. It's the capital of Africa, damn near, you know, in a sense. But yet, how the capital of Africa got a damn the Greek name? But they were damn Africa is Greek. So how's that?
That's right.
You know.
Ethiopia.
So grab those scriptures. And somebody get that Psalms 29:11. Get the other ones first. That Luke. We got Luke.
Luke 8 and 17. He says, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest.
There it is, man. All the secrets have come out, man. We live in the information age, bro. So all them lies you told in the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, all right? Actually, they told a lot of truth back then in their books. What they were telling you and what they were writing in books were different things. Because see, that goes to show you how stupid and yet arrogant, and stupid and arrogant at the same time. Because, you know, I guess they thought that, you know, those books, you know, that Jake would just never be able to read. Because we were such a low estate collectively, you know.
It was not so much that we were going to be able to read, we weren't going to be able to understand. Because there was a video, there was a slave master. He called two of his white slave master buddies in. He said, man, come here, I want y'all to check something out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He had a little boy say, all right, boy. He said, read. The boy started reading. The other two white men looked at each other, they looked at him, was like, is you crazy? Why you teaching this nigga to read? He said, wait, check this out. Hey, boy, do you understand what you read?
No,
No,
first
sir.
he said, isn't it dangerous to let him learn to read?
Dangerous.
Remember Nat Turner,
Dangerous.
right?
Words, dangerous.
And he said, hey, boy, you understand what he said? No, sir, I don't understand. And that's what you niggas out here today, they don't understand nothing.
Yeah, he said basically he got proud. He said it's like a parakeet quote Shakespeare, right? He said like a parakeet quote Shakespeare. You know, he's just saying it. He don't know what he's talking about. But that was a little, to his dismay. He right. They would sneak the Bible down, you know, in the slave quarters, and he started talking about them being in Egypt again, and that the Lord remembered the children of Israel. So that was that movie Hell on Wheels. That was Hell on Wheels. Because I used it in a clip, and they clipped that video. They took my video down. All right? Because it lets you, it just goes to tell you that like you said, you can't criticize these Hollywood directors, and if you think that the Hollywood isn't directly connected to your government, you're fooling yourself. All right? Because they're part of the agenda. How does Hollywood fall into it? They create a lot of the lies on film. They give you the visual effects, right? They give you a false visual, right? And they'll show you individuals in the movies in time periods and change the whole race around. They'll make somebody so-called white who's supposed to be dark, and make somebody dark who's supposed to be white. They'll flip it around, right? And then they project that to the world, and then that's the mindset of the people. So that backs up the lie in the book. So then when you come out and you happen to walk past and you hear us read something out of the scriptures referring to history, and then we say something to the effect where those people were dark, and then you look, then you looking at us like we crazy.
Can I give you an example?
All right, go ahead, brother. As Genghis Khan. John Wayne as Genghis Khan. Are you serious?
The Last Samurai was
Yeah, I was
he
just
might
thinking
live in
that.
character.
It's the Last Samurai.
Tom Cruise.
What was it? The Mexican? Yeah, the Mexican was Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, yo, yeah. Oh yeah, you ain't lying.
Remember the movie?
The Mexican Brad
Yeah,
Pitt.
man, this is crazy,
What
bro.
about your movie, your famous The Christian? With Edomite played the Egyptian.
Oh, Gods of Egypt.
No, Ten Commandments.
Oh man, come on, my classic. I watch this all the time. I love the Ten Commandments. Charles Gangster, gangster.
Real quick, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 14. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Rather me. No, go ahead, brother.
So the Lord is doing a background check. The Lord is doing a background check to see if your facts are really facts or fiction. And most of the things Esau brought out are fiction. They're fake. They're lies.
They're forges.
Matter of fact, what we do that was
Ecclesiastes 12, 13.
12, go to 3 and 15. All right, because look, for telling all those lies and confusing the people, man, there's a payment. All right? And as a matter of fact, it's an ass payment, because you have to pay with your ass. All right? Because your gold and silver, you can't, how you gonna pay the Lord with that?
It's corrupted. We don't want it. This is Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And the Most High requireth that which is past.
So, hey, look, so Yahweh required that which is past, man. Because that's the first thing that people start saying when you start bringing up all these historical events. Oh, that was so long ago. And that was so, all those people are dead. Well, no. Those events shape your today, man. Don't sit up here and pretend like yesterday doesn't affect today. So the things you did yesterday affect today. You live like you live as a result of the things that you did in the past.
That's right.
And there will be a payment for it.
That's right. It's just like if you go work at somebody's house and they got a video camera, right? You don't catch them catch you the same day.
Right. So 5 years later, he's like, oh, come on, man, that was 5 years ago.
Let me go, bro. Let me
You
go.
like, fuck that, I still want my watch back. You're right, you took my watch, my chain. Man, my grandmama gave me that chain.
Right.
You know?
And the Bible is the video camera. The Bible is the video camera. We got recordings of all your iniquities, man.
Yeah.
All your crimes.
Yeah, and then that's you feel violated because you still got the film of this dude walking around your house.
Pride is pride.
He didn't sit down in your chair. Sit on your couch. He didn't cracked open your bottle and drank it and then put it back on the table. When you're
Top back on it.
right,
Top
yeah,
back on it.
put his lips on your stuff in your refrigerator. Cleaned you out, and oh man, that was 5 years ago, man. I'm a different man now. I would never do that. No, man. You still gotta pay.
That's how you saw it.
Yeah, that's their mindset. Well, I wasn't there. I didn't do it. Why do I have to pay
That
for
was
that?
my forefathers. You are your forefathers.
This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
But it wasn't us. We weren't around that time.
That's not fair, bro.
Come on,
Guys, come on. Where's the sympathy at? Come on.
Man, no, man, that is fair. The Lord,
holiday.
the Lord said He requires that which is past, man.
What's good to say? Do unto others that you want them on, man.
Right? And what's that chick that's always coming on Nancy something? I was talking about justice.
Oh yeah, trust me.
That blonde chick. No, hey.
That's a crazy white woman.
Oh man.
Oh my God,
She gonna have
Oh,
a
you
food
talking
slave.
about that?
She
You talking about
nice
one of
too.
the
No, not
beat
for
her,
that.
Elder.
She going to the field.
Racist ass bitch.
Yeah.
That bitch racist.
Yeah. No, she'll never see a night in the chamber. She going straight to the field.
Perfect. And it says that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. All right, because if you allow these Edomites, all right, to basically, survive, you let them do their own thing, what are they gonna try to do?
They're gonna do wicked again.
Yep. They're gonna try to steal your stuff, the heathen stuff, all right, and then they're just gonna spread their wickedness again. Verse 22. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, and remnant, and son, and nephew, saith the Lord.
Hey, that's why the book of Obadiah and Yahweh Ratazah, I'm gonna go into a lesson on that tonight. That'll be my lesson for the day.
Like in the homeless shelter or something?
Nah, brother, we not in the homeless shelter, brother. Nah, it's all good. You should come back and check out this sign though. But Obadiah, you know, he's.
Oh, you can't read, brother? Okay, well, since you can't read, I'm gonna tell you that basically, it's telling you that all Latinos and Native Americans
are indeed the true children of Israel, and that's the God honest truth. You're not the false labels that's been placed upon you. All right, that's why we're in the condition that we in collectively. All right, it's part of our punishment. And so I'm gonna tell you this, brother, that our punishment is almost up. This place is falling. So all these well-to-do people living high on the hall, they're gonna be. It says that the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. They getting ready to get brought down low, and you getting ready to get raised up high. That's the good news, right? So it ain't gonna be that much longer, brother. You ain't got that much longer. So one way or another.
Y'all like Muslims?
No, we Israelites, bro. I just told you Israelites, man. The true children of Israel. All right? Got nothing to do with no Muslims, man.
All right, thank you.
All right? I just said, right, the true children of the Bible, man. All right?
That's a damn demon on Jacob. Fucking Muslim demon.
Well, you know what? And the Lord have mercy on him. And I got a feeling that his mercy gonna just be death, so he can come back right. Because some people, how you gonna fail the test when you giving the right answer? I just told you the answer. I gave you the answer. All right, then I gave you the paper. You still write down the wrong answer. Looking ass. Jakes, man, I'll tell you.
So I got Isaiah 1. Get Isaiah 1. Okay, bring it out. Because Jack is a fucking zombie.
You want Isaiah 1?
Yeah, get Isaiah 1. Zombies, go ahead, brother.
This Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 2. It says, Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. Verse 3, The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know my
Are
people.
you Muslim, brothers? Are you brothers Muslim? Did the elder tell you anything about Muslim? He said you're Israelite, man. We don't got no fucking. Do we got suits on with a bow tie? Are we selling fucking? Come on, man.
Fast head thing.
Stop playing games, man. Do Muslims got signs of the 12 tribes of Israel?
Well, he just said he couldn't read, so we gave him that. But nevertheless,
But Jake getting all that Islam from jail.
hey, but you know what though? But here's the killer thing though. How do you get to be that age and still can't read? You should be able to read at least at a third or fourth grade level. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be ashamed.
Yeah, because that means that you ain't even trying, man. Because you can learn how to read in a very short period of time. And I'm willing to bet wherever in the different places where he's been that opportunity has been there.
Oh yeah.
But he just chose,
Jake crazy.
yeah, man. How could you not want to know how to read, man? I remember watching a movie, man, I think it was from the 80s, with Ray Don Chong in it, and some white chick, and they had like escaped from prison or some oppressive type position they had escaped from, and they were on the streets, and they were running for their lives, and I think they were chained together or something. It's a movie I'm trying to remember. It's got Ray Don Chong in it, right? That's Cheech Chong, that's his daughter.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
And yeah, Ray Don Chong, yeah.
I knew to my
She was in Beat Street.
Right, I knew to my I just know that.
Yeah, so Chong's daughter, yeah. But in this movie, she's chained to this white chick, and they were running. And I just remember the scene. They were in like a sewer, and it said high voltage. Don't you know? And so she started going the other way, and the girl was arguing with her to go that way, and she's looking at her like, "Bitch, are you serious?" Right. And she was like, and so she was like, I don't care where they go. And the girl started going, she stopped her. And she was like, you can't. And the girl was like so proud. And then the girl admitted that she couldn't read. And she was about to go to her death. But it just told you, the fence and all that was all high voltage. Yeah, she got exposed. And basically, that's Eve. Eve's been exposed, just like my man been exposed. So the point is, though, is that I know that there's been opportunity for him to learn how to read. There's no way I would have went through life not knowing how to read.
But also, it was the 80s when we talked about the other day. We had that on air.
Especially this day and age.
Yeah, good. The internet never did. Well, yeah. No, I remember your boss, the president.
That's that smart thug right there. They call me the smart thug. Hey,
Man,
fuck all you motherfuckers.
Hey, I went to
kill all
school with
you
a couple smart thugs, man. I remember this cat, man, this dude named Troy White, man. Troy was like huge for his age too, man. But Troy, this dude would never come to class, man. I was actually a smarty yard, except when it came to geometry and algebra, man. I struggled with that. So I struggled to get C's, man. It was hard. But Troy wouldn't come to class. He'd come to class, he'd pass a test. Yeah.
Was he Nigerian?
You know?
Nigerian.
Yeah, man. Troy was just, and then I had another dude who he was a damn vice lord, a dude named Spearman. I won't say his first name. Because he's from Chicago. But we were actually in boot camp together. And it's the same thing. He went to CBS. And same thing with him, man. He was a smart ass thug, man. You know, geometry, math, what was that other one? The next one after calculus. All this, trigonometry, all that. He smoked that shit, man.
It means nothing.
Barely went to class. But then when the time for all the tests, he could pass it. Some guys were like that, man.
Didn't the inmates beat the Harvard students?
Yes. He had a bunch of jail inmates out there right there, out class.
Fucking Harvard students.
To their embarrassment. They spent how many hundreds of thousands of dollars how smart about it.
Inmates got locked up with their knowledge.
Hey, what about
His own case.
He had no law degree or nothing.
Hey, well, I've practically done that too.
Oh, yeah. They just don't want to let it go.
They just don't want to let it go,
They
right?
don't let it go.
Yeah, they don't want to let it go, man.
With no lawyer, nothing.
That's why they get angry.
Uh-huh.
That's why they also are very, very, Esau just don't like to be beat, man. It's simple as that, man.
He'll try to wait you out to starve you out. Till you like, you know what, fuck this shit, I don't want to do it.
And that's basically what he did, man. Because they don't like the fact that I didn't go get a whole bunch of law degrees, but yet the judge and the lawyers and all the people that put together all that paperwork for the Title 4D shit, I figured it out. It showed where all the corruption and where the violations of the law was, and then where the fraud was. It presented it in a lawsuit, and it made out into the highest court. We're talking about federal court, federal judge, and she refuses to judge it. It's been sitting in her queue for over a year now.
They say they have a.
So it done once you it's just like this 501c3 charter thing. You can't speak against certain entities, and that's what this comes down to. Now I understand. I've come up against one of those things that you're not supposed to come. Oh, and at this point they're like, well, we don't care that you're right. We don't care that we're wrong and you're right. You are not allowed to speak to us. Come, and that's basically what this is. Right? But the Lord gonna change all that. Bring it out, brother.
Psalms 37 and 12. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnashes upon him with his teeth.
Yeah, it's like a rigged race. You know, like in that episode of Black Dynamite, when they had the race wars, when they were literally racing, and it was a war in their cars. But you had the white team, the Japanese team, the Chinese team, and they were they were making comedy out of it, and it was called a race war. what they really were racing. And then you had the Confederate team, and the dude was like, "Hey, we'll cheat and steal our way all the way to the finish line. We done it before, we do it again." Right? You know, and they're making a joke out of it, but it was very serious. It was very real. You know, and the guy they're driving, and you had the Gadites, so-called natives. Laugh now, cry later. You have the natives driving next to him, and the Edomites had, and it said smallpox blankets, and they threw the blankets over into their car, and then they swerved and crashed. Yeah, they drove right. They was driving side by side racing, and then the Edomite he took some smallpox blankets and threw it into their car. I was like, damn, and it was comedy, but it wasn't. I was like, damn, they put this right in your face, man. You know? And he did. He said they go right back to that Micah. You know? He said we gonna chill. See what he said? We gonna cheat our way to the finish line. See, he said,
That's
right,
wild
we did
shit.
it before, we do it again.
It worked.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Because when you go back to the Roman Empire, what did they do? Yeah, they robbed everybody. They imprisoned everybody. If they didn't take over your land, they made you a tributary.
Get down and
You had
lay
to
down.
pay taxes.
Cut.
Get down and lay down.
And they would even rig the games. They would rig the games. They loosen up someone's chariot wheel.
Oh yeah.
Or they send a guy out to race with the horses they haven't really fed or give them water. So you know they only have a burst for a minute, then they be in the fade. Or they'll send you know, they showed you that in the one scene in Spartacus when they sent the three gladiators to be executed by gladiators to fight in the arena. And they gave them swords, but they gave them swords with no edge on them.
Exactly.
Everybody else got sharp weapons, and they got dull swords with no edge.
They did that in Gladiator. Remember?
Yeah,
he stabbed,
Gladiator, he stabbed them, and they said conceal the wound. So they right. So we're talking about. Hey, we're talking about a man. Somebody get go to Genesis the 27th chapter, and go to when yeah, just go 20, start reading, brother. And he said, matter of fact, go 20. He said, sell me your birthright. I mean, right. When Jacob said, sell me your birthright, and he said basically, to hell with this birthright. You know, I want that raw ass meat, homie. That shit look good, man. Right, that's pretty much it. Because I love lentil soup. I had some lentil soup today, man. All right? So he saw them lentils, he smelled them lentils, he smelled that meat cooking, and he was like, and you know, Jacob was like, hey, bro, it ain't ready, bro. He was like, man, fuck that, man. You know? He was like, man, fuck that, man. Give me that raw ass meat, bro. All right? And so, you know, Jake was like, hey, well, then let me get your birthright then. And he was like, all right, bet. I mean, because Esau was a nigga, the real nigga. But go ahead, brother.
This Genesis chapter 25 and verse 29, it says, in Jacob's side pottage.
Go ahead, brother.
This Genesis 25 and 29. In Jacob's side pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Verse 31, and Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Verse 32, and Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me?
There it is, man. So what profit? What is birthright? I'm about to die, man. So what good is a birthright? And so he was being a niggard, man. All right? But you know, through the spirit, it wasn't supposed to be his anyway. The Lord had already prophesied that it would go to the second child. So, you know, and so that's Esau had a perverse spirit, and he, you know, he brushed off his birthright. Go ahead, read.
It says, verse 32, and Esau said, behold, I am at point to die, and what profit should his birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day, and he swore to him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and And he did eat and drink and rose up.
So that's it, man. He smashed the lentils, and he smashed that raw ass meat, man. All right, that half cooked meat. Okay, and when the meat wasn't ready, man, it was still red pottage. It still had blood in it. It wasn't ready yet, man. You know, it hadn't cooked the way it's supposed to, man. All right. Now go to 27 when the time for the birthright to be taken, man.
This is Genesis chapter 27 and 38. This is Genesis 27 and verse 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? My father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
No, go back a little bit, a little bit more before that. To the events that lead up to it. See, this is Esau being just like the character in the cartoon. He gonna steal and lie and cheat his way to the finish line. All right? Because what he didn't do was he didn't tell his father that he no longer possessed the birthright. That I sold it. And I always use the used car analogy. All right? No, this is the used car analogy. I have a car. I sell it to Pops. All right? Me and Pops stay together. But he's bought the car. Right? It's no longer mine. Right? So I come out the house and I'm like, dang, you know what? Pops sitting there sleeping. I'm just run the car and run to I'm gonna run to the store real quick and not come back. The problem is that the time I run to the store, Pops coming out because he gotta go. And the client here. So literally what that means is that it's no longer my car just to run. Now if I go tell Pops, hey, can I grab the car real quick? Go out the bam. But just because I still have to have a set of keys, well, let me just take it real quick. No, man. Right. Because now basically I'm stealing. Right. All right? So he went in here, and we're gonna read it. He went in there. You gotta break shit down for Jay. And he went in there and he went to go to get a birthright that no longer belonged to him. Period. Then the church teaches that Jacob stole it. Right. All right? Or they'll teach that Jacob was the bad guy. All right? Go ahead.
This is Genesis chapter 27 and verse 30. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was verse 30. It says, and Jacob had, and Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he said also, it says, and he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. Verse 32, and Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. Verse 33, and Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, where is he that have taken venison and brought it unto me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed.
So there it is, man. All right, then Esau gonna start crying, all like a little bitch, and move on, and dropping the crocodile tears of slobbing.
Typical E behavior.
Right? But the point is that he had already tried to go in and claim something that was no longer his. So the truth be said, Esau is the liar and the thief. He was trying to go in and claim something that no longer belonged to him.
I got something to back up what you just said about stealing and the stolen birthright and the selling of it.
Yeah.
Not only do they teach it in the church, they print it in the Bible. The sale of the birthright, the stolen blessing.
So how you gonna do that? They're contradicting themselves.
Right. So this is a study Bible. So you think you don't really got a study Bible and you really on top of it because you got precepts hooked to it and this, that, and the other. And the header tells you.
And we just read about the 501c3 charter and all the crooked teachings and why people think and believe the way they think because they've been taught lies. All right? These 501c3 rules is heavy, Pops. It's heavy. And so a lot of the pastors, they're taught under these guidelines. So this is why, now we understand why the church can't deal with us. They don't know the scriptures. If they knew the scriptures, they'd walk away from the church.
Oh yeah, they burnt them on fire. Mad.
Funny thing you say that is because of the fact that when we went to bury Captain Lee, it was the same thing. All us was up in the upper level while the pastor was breaking down his eulogy, and he said, I hadn't seen him in a couple of years, and this, that, and the other. But a curious thing had happened. He had grown spiritually to the point that he asked me a couple of questions I don't have the answers to.
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
Period.
Man, admitted that.
That's it. In a couple of years, because Lee got with us when he was like 17, by the time he had turned 19 and whatnot, he was like, hey, and that's how we was taught to do it.
He was versed and learned in the scriptures. man.
Let's ask a question and see if you, I know the answer, let's see if you know the answer.
Metal sharp as metal, right?
That's right. Not only did he not know the answer, you say metal sharp and metal?
Yeah,
No, that was-
and he told him, and here's the thing, Captain Lee knew the answer,
That's right.
but he just wanted to see what he knew, and the pastor was like, you know, let me get back to you on
And
that.
that's exactly
And
what
he,
he
and
said.
you know
Hold
what?
the study.
He never got back to him
That's what he said.
because
That's
he couldn't answer him, man. All right, because we got the truth up here,
Okay.
144%. All right. So this man, this character, Esau Edom, this person, he set out to steal something that no longer belonged to him. I can't sell you something, all right, and now it's no longer my possession; it's your possession. And then try to use that possession to get a blessing or birth, you know. You know, how crooked is that, man? But hey, somebody get that. What was made crooked can't be made straight. That's the problem, man. You know, he can't be made straight, man. He can be. He's gonna. That's why the Lord's gonna destroy him.
Elder, when I was in 8th grade, I was around a lot of so-called Catholics. I was like, "Why are you a Catholic?" I don't know. My mama was Catholic. They didn't have no spiritual faith. They were not dealing with the scriptures. It wasn't according to the words of the Bible. They're just Catholics.
It was cool. It was cool.
No, their parents were Catholic.
Exactly.
Their great-grandparents
Yeah.
were Catholics.
No,
Tradition.
Catholics are taught.
Tradition.
Catholics are taught that all you have to do is go give confession
Oh yeah.
and say Hail Marys, and no matter what you've done,
You good.
you good. That they're taught that. All right, they believe that. That, as a matter of fact, they believe that I could have been a rape, murderer, and just
Come back
killed
and confess.
thousands of people. But as I'm dying, all I gotta do is confess and say a couple Hail Marys, and I'm good. That you're okay. All right? No, man, you have no idea.
Hey, it's obvious that they believe that. The Catholic priests doing it all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
They got bodies.
Yeah. On bodies.
Bodies.
Baby motherfuckers.
Young bodies, too.
Yeah.
Young bodies.
Numerous.
Go ahead, brother.
This Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered.
Brother, read it one more time, please, brother.
It's Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered.
Salakia, brother. Read that again, Baba.
This Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered.
There it is, man. So you can't make straight something that's crooked, man. I don't care how much heat you put to it and try to beat it with the hammer. This thing is never gonna be right. All right, now if you want an arrow that's gonna curve, then that's the arrow for you. But if you want one that's gonna shoot straight to hit exactly, you know, it ain't gonna happen, man. You trying to do a trick shot, then that might be your arrow.
The Lord,
Right.
the Lord of Cutter.
You know?
But the thing is, like you say, with that being the case, when Nebuchadnezzar found wanting and the kingdom was going to be taken from him, read that part again, that last part.
It says, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered.
So the Lord came and wrote it, had it written on the wall for him. Esau can't read the writing on the wall now. Okay? The handwriting is on the wall, it's going all around the world.
Nah, he can read it. It's these everyday.
Exactly, that's what I mean. The Joe Six Pack.
I just watched the video where some older guy, some older Idumean,
Right.
he mentioned the fact that if the public was aware of the alien activity and threat to America,
Right.
that they wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
Right.
He said something to that effect.
Well, like I told you that
You know?
day, when I was looking at something and me and Aisha was together, and you had something that was half the size of the earth go past the rings of Saturn.
No, he went into the
Yeah, he threw the
cherry
rings.
went into the
Right.
side. Yeah, that was beautiful.
And I got a confession. A brother called me today from a whole nother country. What's going on with the UFOs, brother? What's going on with the UFOs, brother? Nigga, I told you a year and a half ago about the UFOs, brother. And I sent him the videos, man. It didn't load up to him, so I sent him the videos. We were in Chicago. The UFOs making videos. And he lost it.
God. That's beautiful.
Well, they say that
He convinced now.
He's convinced now.
Yeah, that was an amazing thing right there, brother. Especially how they were teleporting. They popped out of nowhere and then they disappeared on one end, and then on. That's the beauty of it. When people when the brothers in Kansas City were seeing, they were popping out over there.
L.A.
Did they visit
Yeah.
elders in New York?
Yeah. They've been getting that a lot.
New York.
They were nationwide. I mean,
That was all over.
Hey, man.
Y'all keep doing
That was on tour.
And you know what too? I'm willing to bet that these Idumeans have footage of that. They're not gonna let that out though.
Esau don't talk about it.
They're not gonna let all them satellites up there and all. They got footage of that, man.
And that's the spirit. I did a video this week about the church because, mind you, about the 80s and beyond that, you get visited by people. If you see the chariot in the sky and you made videos and talked about that, man, they had the men in black to come visit you.
Yeah, you got deemed as crazy.
Kind. And they had certain H's that come cities to come visit you. And if you talk too much, they'll come take you out. They'll come take you out, man. You know? So times change. You know that. Remember Time Life was coming up in commercials back in the day with selling books and they try to make the UFOs all scary. They come up with scary music and try to scare you and shit, man.
So they said there was a reason why the UFOs had a big head. Because the afros.
Right.
The big head represented the afro.
Right. No doubt, but they was trying to hit you with these gray ass.
Yeah, the same thing with like when you look at the arch. When Idumeans started putting halos on the ark, they were really trying to draw the Jake had the big afros, so they started drawing halos, man. You know. So go ahead, brother.
This is Amos chapter 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saying that I will not.
The funny thing, the brother read, it says sinful kingdom. There was no S. The other nations around the world.
Yeah, it was singular. So it goes back to this
America.
What was that one 501c3 charter thing? It said about what was it about the alphabet lifestyle, so to speak.
Oh shit!
What did it say?
You gotta
It
accept
said
the
You
colorful
had so much,
lifestyle.
elder. You
Okay.
couldn't do nothing.
Identifying, alternative lifestyle as sin. It said you cannot identify the alternative lifestyle as a sin or an abomination. All right. So, like you said, that was singular. You know, but no, they don't. That's it. Hey, let me read this. See, you want to hear?
Yeah.
You want to hear?
In order for you to
Hold
get
on,
government money, that final seat, you gotta abide by everything on this list.
I'm gonna read the last one. It said on the last two, it says you cannot criticize the Pope or the Vatican with the truth found.
I didn't hear that part.
Hold on, man. You There's more.
There's more.
But wait, there's
It
more.
says,
Much more.
you cannot criticize the Pope or the Vatican with the truth found in the Bible. That's what it says it on there. I'll say it again.
What the? Right.
You cannot criticize the Pope or the Vatican with the truth found in the Holy Bible.
So what's your blueprint then? What
You
is
cannot criticize the United Nations, the CFR, Bilderberg, Masonic Lodges, Skull and Bones, or the ADL or any of those Jewish organizations. I didn't even write them all down, but they all were listed.
So in other words, they don't want you to tell the truth.
Out the Bible. Out the Bible.
So now we know why these pastors are so unlearned. And why when we read the Bible, it all seems so crazy to these church-going religious people because they've never heard the scriptures like that before.
That's crazy.
They never, because the 501c3 charter ensures that they're taught. So, and we're talking about the educators. This is what the educators are talking about.
You know what? Like I told you, some years back, about 4 or 5 years back, I got into it with this bus driver, and we was at it for about a month, maybe 6 weeks. And every day when I get on the bus,
Y'all went at it.
Yo, he said he had a master's in theology. I guess I was supposed to count. I'm like, motherfucker, for real? So listen.
Theology.
No, because he went to one of them theology cemeteries.
That's right.
That's right.
Theology cemetery.
That's what the Apostle Tahak was.
I like that.
Right. He said, you know, these theology cemetery. You know.
But yeah, so that's what that was. Cause see, we went back and forth for about a month, 6 weeks, and I kept asking questions and this, that, and the other, and putting it to him. And after about 6 weeks of him not having no motherfucking answers, he said, "What's the point?" And I was like, "The point is about salvation." I thought. If you got a master's, shouldn't you understand this and understand you trying to lead people towards salvation?
That's not his job, bro.
No, obviously, and this certainly locks that in even more.
This
so.
this is a cut, Slack, brother. This is a cut to some other. Remember we go up with the Samson and how he passing out flyers, able to get gymnasiums and go talk to. And now that they don't talk, they don't. What do they push? Prosperity here in Babylon.
Yep.
They push bullshit, man. And they never talk against Esau's system. So it all adds up. It all makes sense. All adds up. Listen to this. It all adds up. What you got now?
And the Bible said the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of what?
Prophecy.
Prophecy. HOI, no prophecy.
No prophecy.
GOC, no prophecy. What's some other camps? No prophecy,
No
bro.
prophecy.
We're the only ones who are prophets.
Right. This is you know, I'm gonna start at 1 Timothy. The point is in verse 5. I'm gonna read starting 3. If any man teach otherwise and consent not to the wholesome words, even the words of the Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, and the doctrine which is according to the goodness, he is proud, knowing nothing, but doubting about questions and strife of words, wherewith cometh envy, strife, rafflings, evil surmisings, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of truth, supposing that gain is godliness.
It's like you said, destitute of truth.
Don't have it.
There's no way. You got to realize there's certain people on the earth that will never get truth. The Lord said, I blinded them, I covered their ears, they can't hear, they can't see, they will not perceive, they will not get nothing, man. This is only for the elect. The elect of the children of Israel.
Yeah, and it says, from such withdraw them thyself. But
Oh, we
goodliness,
gotta get out of what? For
from
what?
such withdraw them.
Get away from you niggas, man. Get away from them. If they can't get the truth, get away from them, man. Why you hanging around? Hey, it says a little leaven the whole lump. Yeah, you hanging around a 2/3. Now you acting like a 2/3, man.
I got a scripture back over.
Can you speak up, Pops?
Okay, I got a scripture to solidify what the elder just said. This is Matthew 5 and 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law shall all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore
Oh,
shall.
that was the Old Testament.
Hold on, this
That was the
Matthew.
Old Testament, brother.
Hold on. This
What's
coming-
wrong with you, brother?
This is coming out of the Savior's mouth.
Oh, no, brother, man, there's different testaments. That was the Old Testament.
Hold on, this is Matthew. This is you, man.
I'm sorry, brother.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Right. So when I say, hey, look, we risking our lives and our freedom to do so, it's true, man. That's not just some moniker. That's just not some saying because it sounds cool. All right. We really doing that shit.
Hey, when I do my opening on my closing, I'm talking about the creator of all the planet.
That's right. Huh?
I got a precept to back you up, Pops. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, and I'm gonna start at 4. I'm gonna start at 39.
Just keep
38.
going till you find it.
Arise and stand. Behold, the number of this is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 38, and it reads, "Arise."
I'm sorry, brother. You said something
Actually,
so
no,
special. Read that first line again.
So like I'm gonna go.
You said arise and stand. You go to any church in America, they fucking sit down, goddammit, for 2 to 3 hours, man. They only get up when it's time to pass money around or dance. They're not.
Or when it's your time to get up and hug somebody else.
Oh yeah. Sister, get over here, sister. Where you been, sister? Goddamn, sister.
They ain't even practice church hills no more.
I'm gonna start.
Social distance.
I'm gonna start back.
Yeah.
This is Second Ezra chapter 2, verse 35. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore. Flee the shadow of this world, which that's what the elect is doing. Receive the joyfulness of your glory. I testify my Savior openly. And that's what we're doing. We come out here on the highways and byways and preach this truth. And we glorify Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And we say who the Israelites are, who Edom is, who the other nations are, the judgments, so on and so forth. Whether people like it, believe it or not. All right?
Openly.
Right. Verse 37. Oh, receive the gift that is given you and be glad, giving thanks unto him.
It's lucky because you gotta realize the other nations, they proudly celebrate their false heritage. Christmas,
Yeah.
4th of July, all this bullshit. Thanksgiving, New Year. They put it in your face, man. They force it down your throat. Hold on.
You know I like it with these lights on because it's forcing people to see the sign.
Exactly.
They don't really see the sign. They don't, because even in the cars, they see the sign.
Verse 37. Oh, receive the gift that is given you and be glad, giving thanks unto him that hath called you to the heavenly kingdom.
Yes.
Arise and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord, which that's the elect, which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Lord. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed. So they were predestinated to do these things. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs, talking about the truth.
He saw this, yeah. He exactly. You know what? He matter of fact, isn't that in yeah, that's a revelation. He saw the same thing that John saw. And then one of Ezra's who saw the people getting the white palms and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I'm almost there. Verse. What was that?
I mean, dressed in white in the
Yep. Verse 43. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. And that's
a beautiful vision, man.
And that's the reward of the elect. Those that are risking their lives and freedom to preach this word, all right? Who don't care about, the negative talk, all that. Who just said, fuck this world, basically. and hey, fuck this place. Hey, I'm following the Lamb.
I got
All right.
scripture.
Just a little more pop.
And I can't wait till that reward is given. Yeah, whatever's going on, they all going in there. That's what they going on.
It was more.
All these, the Lord sending by all these bedwetches, all these handmaids.
And was more exalted, which I marveled at. And that man is Yahweh Shai, that young man. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High Yahweh. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I got a scripture to come out.
Matthew 11:15. He that have ears to hear, let him hear.
So we know that you're not going to be able to hear this if you're part of the 2/3. It's going to go by.
Okay.
17 other nations. It's probably going to go by.
Right by.
It's going to go right by. Okay? So don't stress yourself. Keep doing what you're doing. Enjoy yourself.
Live it up.
Because your shit is running out. So go ahead,
Well,
read.
the Bible says, rejoice when you glad, Edom.
That's right.
Yeah, and listen to them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They rejoicing.
That's right.
All you hear is woo.
Oh, yeah.
Celebration.
Because we've been watching these women go by. There's something
Half
going on
naked.
where everybody's wearing like mini skirts and mini dresses, and
Got their
everybody's
thighs
legs
out.
out, and their thighs and hips. And I'm not gonna sit up and pretend like I didn't enjoy some of it.
We are.
But they live in their
Oh,
best
no,
life.
man. You live in
So they think.
You live in a masculine, toxic masculinity, bro. Because you enjoy it. Because you
How
enjoy it.
how toxic was that? He saw the attractive woman and enjoyed it. Toxic man.
You got a wrong spot in there.
That's real toxic.
That's toxic as well.
Wow.
Come on, man. Read.
Matthew 11:16. But whereto shall I liken this generation?
So this generation right here, go ahead.
It is likened to children sitting in the markets and calling to their fellows and saying, we have piped to you, and ye have not dared.
We have what?
Piped unto you.
So we like they were saying earlier, we pushing the song. We pushing the song and then even going in and breaking down the lyrics for you. And you still can't get it. Okay? We trying to teach you how to walk Tusi. And you motherfuckers trying to waltz. And none of y'all know how to dance. Go ahead, man.
And I'm sure that the way they waltz is not the actual way.
It ain't that easy.
That was Jake that
Exactly.
created that, So when Jake was doing it was raw as hell, man.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead.
It says, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented.
So we're doing all these things. We're approaching you from all kinds of different angles with the same message, and you can't get it. You're not designed to get it.
That's right.
So guess what this is? This is a session that.
Basically, you know what's going on? We just occupying it till the Lord comes.
That's right.
Because I believe that the elect are sealed, man. I believe the elect are sealed. I could be wrong, but I think the elect are sealed. And basically, the Lord said, occupy till I come back. So that's what we doing.
We found doing the work.
Yeah, but there's a scripture that he said, how long? And he says, until I return.
Yeah.
So that the cities
Till-
are
till-
desolate
till-
without
That's-
inhabitants.
That's right.
There you go.
That's it. So this is where we at. And this is where we at. This is what we doing, and we out here. So pretty much, since line backing off of what the elder said, we coming out here basically condemning everybody. Hey, so when the Lord does it, he says he's justified, which he's been justified anyway. But say, so the strokes that you catch, you earned every last one of them.
That's right. That's right.
What y'all got? Everybody got something?
As the book of Psalms 12:6, the words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in the furnace of earth purified 7 times. Thou shalt keep them, O Lord, thou shalt preserve them
from this generation forever. And I looked up that word pure because, hey, this word isn't given unto everybody because, hey, 2/3 are just, hey, their mind is just fully gone. And so the definition for the word pure, it says clean, clear, fresh, crisp, refreshing, sparkling, unpolluted, untainted, how do you pronounce this?
Unadulterated.
Uncontaminated, because this word of the Lord is pure. You know, hey, you filthy 2/3 were just polluted, man. If it was given unto you,
Filthy animals.
It's like the scripture you just read. That's a cut to church people, man. Y'all can't deal with that. Your preacher man can't deal with the scripture you just read,
Can't
man.
even go to the scriptures now. What the hell? I just found that out. You can't even go to the scriptures. Hey, look, read that last line. Uncontaminated.
Not none.
501c3.
Right.
Don't touch
It's,
this.
it's contaminated everything,
That's
man.
right.
This goes back to everything we've been talking about all day, man.
You sent that link to me, though, right?
Oh, I got it.
This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 22. It says, "For wisdom, which is the work of all things, taught me, for in her is an understanding spirit holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good." So, hey,
This ain't got none of that. all the parties, he's just, and none of them line up with him.
Yeah.
None of his history. That don't line up. None of the Esau history.
No.
It's a total opposite.
Which is why they've hid throughout the generations that they are indeed the Idumeans, man.
Oh, con.
They've hid that, you know. They changed, you know, when what was his name, Johann Blumenbach came out with that lie, that made up word of Caucasian, and then he turned around, and then they went even further and created the terminology of white. All right. So it started applying because I'm looking at a white Mustang, man, and I ain't never seen nobody's skin color that color yet. You know.
What was the year again? 17 or?
It was 1681.
1681.
In Virginia.
Before then.
And you had that's been thoroughly researched by it's Dr. Robin. Dr. What's her name? Batalora, something Batalora. Now I can't think of Jacqueline Batalora, and the historian Theodore Allen. It was actually Theodore Allen that discovered it, and then Dr. Batalora went more into it. Yeah, but it was actually the historian Theodore Allen. He had a bunch of written law from like 1660 something all the way up to like 1700. Right, of the law of the colonies, and he was going through all these things, and it was him that discovered that it wasn't until 1681 where white actually appeared in the documentation as an actual group of humanity. Race. So they weren't using white as to identify race until then. So they started identifying themselves as white, and that was all to go with those miscegenation laws, which was all those laws that put Judah and Gad and anyone else of color on the bottom and elevated the pale male because the pale male basically they weren't getting no play.
No, and they were
the women, all the women that were coming over from Europe, all the and from where they were choosing to be with the dark complected men, both the Judites and the indigenous men of America. They were choosing them over the pale males, even in a low state. So.
They was getting that scratch.
That's what they were doing. They weren't choosing, and so they made all these. So basically, they made all these laws to where only the pale male could be elevated in a society because they could own property, firearms, could vote, they could do all these things, and all those rights were taken away from the other men, which also proves that there was dark freemen walking around at that time.
Right. Did you watch The Duel?
I haven't seen it yet. I did a lesson on it because I knew the story. So you know.
In the opening of the movie, they said nobody could get a sword unless the king told you to. Nobody could have a weapon. That's how they work, man.
But that's what they're trying to do now. They're trying to take all the weapons out of
Exactly.
They did that sometimes.
You can have a weapon unless the
Sometimes,
king gave you permission.
Yeah, they had sometimes. Just like you could come to town with a gun. thing. It was a chick a gun in. They had
Yeah, that's exactly what it's all about. A lot of these shootings are wag the dog stage. We always talk about it, how the Edomites put on the prosthetic masks, and the prosthetic hands, right? And then they wear their hat to the side, jump out the car, shoot up some stuff, and then they jump in the car and speed off. And then they perceive that the ops did it, and then they gonna retaliate on some dudes that ain't done nothing to them, which enrages them, and they gonna retaliate on them, and it's just a never-ending thing. And that's what's happening. That has happened often in Chicago in recent years.
Especially right now with all those highway shootings, it's always on 57, 9094, you know, Lakeshore Drive southbound, 290. Those were where all Jake lives. You don't really hear about it by the Edens, the Kennedy. You don't hear it over there.
Yeah.
It's always on the Bishop Ford all day.
Yeah. It's mainly in the areas where Jake lived, or passing through. Yeah, it's not right. Exactly. It's not happening on the Edens at all, man. It ain't happening out near O'Hare or nothing like that. You know.
Yeah. But like you're saying, as far as the prosthetics and this and that, trying taking on different looks of other cultures and whatnot and perpetrating this. But like this brother said, that's their MO. That's what ain't that what the Patriots did on the Boston Tea Party?
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. And then I always talk about how no one ever talks about the negative repercussions that came against Dad after they did that.
Exactly.
And I just saw a video where a Klansman was saying that I don't have to go and shoot and kill. We don't have to kill. The Klan don't have to kill niggas no more. He said if I could, I'd just drive up to Chicago with truckloads of dynamite and guns and weapons, lots of cocaine and fentanyl. Right. That's what he said.
Leave it in the neighborhood.
He said, right, that's what he want to do. But the truth of the matter is there's probably a lot of Klansmen that's actually in those prosthetic suits.
Right. Oh, they're doing
those masks doing, so they are still doing what they're doing, man.
There was a movie, a 2/3 movie. It came out back in early 2000s called Baller Blocker. It was showing you how in New Orleans, how Russia used to send tankers over here, which Russia's connected with our government. They would send tankers over here with weapons.
AKs and
How we get AKs in this bitch?
How you got guns with titties on the south side? These cats they ain't got jobs. They come to their mama's house with guns with on both sides, man. Where are you getting this from?
Look.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You can't go to the store and buy this, man.
Because most of these guys, they don't even have proper ID. Their credit is screwed up. A lot of them get felonies, so they can't. So you have to wonder whether, and then they'll say, oh, well, it's so easy for them to get them. Or however you cut that cake, however you want to slice that pie, it's coming from the Idumeans.
Exactly.
Point blank period. Whether it's coming from Indiana or,
Wisconsin.
No matter where it's coming from, it's coming from the Idumeans.
Look. 10 years old now. I'm going to say 8 years old in the project. Down here, the Stateway Garden when they were still up. Railway right there. It runs right there. My cousins was calling it for the Keystone Nation, Blackstone Rangers, this, that, and the other. Them motherfuckers would come through there at night. And the first time I found out about it was my doggy one in our family, my brother Roosevelt, was peeping out the fucking blind at this shit. We hearing all this gunshot, and it's getting louder and louder coming toward us. We're like, what the fuck is that? And who the fuck is that? You know, I'm a coward and shit. My dad wasn't there, my brother was looking out the window. And then he was like, oh shit. And it was like, the cousins, no bigger than you, dog, shorter than you. But they young teenagers. Man, they coming through there fucking bouncing off shit, busting shit. Stone love. And they had been tipped off when they hit the front.
Yeah. And hey, because look, the train, that same train you talked about,
That's right.
went right past my house. That same train line, man.
That's right.
And the BDs used to hit them freights too.
So
So they were hitting them freight, because I remember one summer everybody had mini bikes.
Right. That's how they shit used to show up.
Everybody in the hood had a mini bike.
That's how that shit used
Ready
to
to
show
kill for
up.
ready to kill for. Give you something to kill for.
Like maybe 79, 80, 81, something. It was, but I remember all these dudes, everybody had mini bikes.
That's right.
And I'm like, where the hell everybody got all these mini bikes from? And then they had hit the freights. So he knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And then they showed you that in recent years, just a couple years ago, when they parked those Nike trucks next to the basketball.
Yep.
And then the projects,
set now. You're doing the setup.
Well, it goes back to go back to the drugs, like the crack rock. Foreign, supposedly in Oakland, California. This shit just doesn't come off the tree. You have to manufacture. You have
That
to
was
process.
that was done.
A process.
That was right. That was whole scientists.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
That developed that.
And you got, and even in jungles in South America, you gotta take this alkaline plant and put it in something and extract the cocaine from it. So therefore, you have to have a scientist, a chemist, matter of fact, come down here and show you, and you have to have a liquid to take the liquids out of that, man. So it's a whole process going down.
I
They
just
try to-
watched a movie about that with Lawrence Fishburne and Nicolas Cage.
Right.
Yeah, it was Lawrence Fishburne and Nicolas Cage. And what's that one? Iscarite Clifton something. His name is Clifton something. He's an Iscarite, but he changed his name for Hollywood.
Okay.
All right, but the movie was good as hell, and everything you explained is right there in that movie. Because Lawrence Fishburne was a damn resistant nigga, and he was taking their clean cut stuff and doing stuff to it, and then people would drop it dead. Because he was trying to make money on the side.
Stretching it out, trying to
Yeah,
make it long.
right. Because they end up. That's a good ass movie, and it breaks down. It's really good. It's on Netflix, I believe.
Okay,
I just watched it maybe about 3-4 weeks back. Yeah, Adam Goldberg, Clifton Collins, right? Yeah, that dude's an Iscarite. But it's actually a really good movie, man. And Lawrence Fishburne, you know, yeah, it's called Running with the Devil. How could I forget that?
But Esau tries to play this
Because
picture.
he's running with Nicolas Cage. Because Nicolas Cage is a cook. He's a cook in a fancy restaurant, in his own restaurant. But his real money is made
Cocaine.
because he's dealing with the cartel.
Oh, wow.
And he's like they connect, you know.
And they try to make it, they paint us as the face of the crackheads and everything.
And the police, everybody's
And
involved.
And that's the same thing what happened
On
with
both
Crack
sides
Rock.
of the border.
On both sides.
On both sides of the border.
We were talking about earlier how the presidents and stuff start wars. Reagan had the Contra wars in the 80s. What was he going down there in Central America? He was fucking getting drugs, man.
That's right.
He put his homie, Oliver North was his scapegoat, man. And like me and brother,
Yeah, actually, he put Oliver North out to burn.
Yeah, but he also got movies after that. He got movie deals recently.
Hey, you got any questions? We're answering, man.
Yeah, what organization is this?
But this isn't an organization. This is what who we are, and who we represent.
What do you guys
Right?
believe?
You see the sign? That is what we believe. This is what we've been called in the world. But when you do your research, your diligent research, and you actually read the scriptures, this is who we really are. So we've been lied to about our heritage. The Bible clearly says that there will be a people to claim to be the people of Israel, and that the true children of Israel will be lost and separated from their heritage, and that at the end of days they would remember themselves. Something that most rabbis don't like to talk about when I've had this conversation with them. So the Israelites were cut off from their heritage. Jeremiah 7:4. They were completely cut off from their heritage and had no idea who they are. And then in the end of days, all right, so this is how we know we're at the end. They would remember themselves. So they had to come. So, and how would they do that? Through the scriptures, and through the time of the Great Awakening, and the northern and the southern kingdom coming back together, because it clearly tells you that when Israel goes back to the land of Israel, all 12 tribes would go back at once together, and that the Idumeans would be destroyed. The Idumeans have not been destroyed, and all 12 tribes are not in the land of Israel. So therefore, these people don't fit prophecy. All right? And there will be peace on earth. And it also says that they would go into slavery. The Israelites would go into slavery via slave ships and get scattered to the four corners of the earth. That's what the Bible actually says.
Okay,
That's in the Torah and the Tanakh.
I'm gonna head out. I appreciate you telling me all this.
Okay.
Do you believe in the Bible?
Something like that.
Something like that. No.
He does man move.
No, he's an Amalekite. That's why.
Come. That's right. Spirit was not
His eyes told everything.
Oh, yeah.
Even behind his mask, his eyes told everything.
And that's why I ran straight to Revelation. We're going to show you in the synagogue what you're doing, boy.
All right? Matter of fact, we'll close with that. Get that. No, you can hold that revelation and then get that Jeremiah 17:4.
This Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
Right. So the Israelites discontinue from their heritage. See, he couldn't explain, and if you running around saying you know who you are and you've been that all along, you're lying. All right, that doesn't fit prophecy. Okay, so any group of humanity that's been claiming to be the Israelites all along,
Not them.
because the Israelites got cut off from their heritage, and they would remember themselves.
That's right.
All right, right in the land of their captivities. All right. Okay, you go ahead and get the revelation, Pops.
All right. Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
You're rich because of the truth, and then the homeless. Well, you couldn't see him on camera, but the homeless Jake that came up, with the booty face, that asked about what this was. That you remember that whole thing, man. We're collectively our people on the bottom. All right, go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
Right, we know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
And are not.
And are not.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
Right, you got synagogues all over Chicago, and they are the synagogues of Satan. So with that, we're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Wa abba babal.